Greetings, this is your man Nicholas Shepherd from the Shepherd Family Enterprise Business Administration and Information Systems Consultants. And this is going to be our training session. Um, I'm going to say for our project management database, okay? And what we're going over today is basically some of our factoring details of our project. Now, there has been a lot of different things that we've been trying to work over, okay? But what I'm going to do, I started a video, so I want to play that video so that we don't have to go back through it again. I don't think it would be necessary for that to happen. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm we are going over our factoring process as far as us working on whether or not we can start working on a project based on a criteria. Okay, so um, I'm gonna get right into it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen share. And once I start the screen share, we're gonna go straight into it. Okay, so first of all, let me make sure I'm in it. Right. And we are going to play the video. Okay. All right, so let's go into the video and then we will start the session. Now, test, test. What I'm doing, I'm running a test to see, I'm testing my volume on the desktop and as well as my mic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, I'm going to my settings, and I'm going to general, and I want to show the OBS window in this because, and I'll take it off once I start working on it, but I want to make sure that, let me say yes, I have to say this. I want to make sure that I can see exactly what I did, what I'm doing, okay? So the first thing is that, as you see here, I want to make sure that my mic is up to par, and I'm going to turn on this part, okay? Um, because I'm gonna be going into the training level one beginners part two, and this is what I'm trying to do basically when I look on my form here. What I'm supposed to be working over, I'm working on the factor to approve funded account qualification worksheet, and what it is that I'm trying to determine at what point will I factor whether or not we want to work on this customer. Okay. So I've been looking at this since earlier today, about 10 o'clock. And of course, I've been doing other things and stuff like that, but that's basically where I am. Okay. Um, as you know, we already made the factor approval funded account page two, and this is basically on in house training. Um, I think that as far as that is concerned, I'm gonna be going over the details of my this project here, and this is project manager database. Um, this is my project management database system training level one, beginners part two. Now, um, this is an interesting thing because I had to go back this far to the beginning when to determine whether or when I was going to factor the fact that, okay, um, are we going to work on this project? Okay, so I was looking at this. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of this video, but also I want to go into a couple other videos, so bear with me while we're going through this. This is going to be a speed case here, so I'm going to be going through a couple of things to determine where I should be factoring my, um, doing my factoring. Okay. I have a couple of forms. Okay, like this. whole process here, this form that I'm creating, factor to approve funded account qualifications. Um, like this form here is evaluate client customer search screen only, and it has a couple of things in here that will possibly get me to a point where I say, okay, well, um, do I need to be working on this customer? Okay. So I'm going to pretty much speed this up because of the fact that I'm gonna talk some more through this. Let me see, customer account number. I think was it 12? I don't know, it was 12 or not. I think it was 12. I'm gonna speed this up some more because I'm gonna go back through this again on I think what it is that I'm gonna have to reiterate some things pertaining to what I'm trying to do. For the queries that we're using to populate this particular form here is allowing us to see at what point are we going to be looking at this client at all. All right. So the first thing is um, once we go into okay, like once we go into the the count customer screen here, okay, and like I said, accounting section will look at this and they'll say, okay, they'll be evaluating whether or not they want to deal with that customer, and they're going to be pushing the factor to approve funded account. Now, in this information, in this process, we need to know exactly where the customer is a little further than that. Okay, so like I say again, I'm gonna be going through this again. So um, I'm gonna stop this video. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, okay, go ahead and activate my window again. What I'm going to be doing now, okay, because like I say, we already been through the video already, one of the videos, and what we're going to do now is basically I'm going to go back into my form, and what I'm going to do basically is try to work through when I'm actually going to be working with this client. Okay, I don't want to make this too long, so I'm gonna be jumping around. If you want to know exactly how these different forms work, you have to go back to my initial video, my first video, project manager video, and then be able to get you. Those of you that has been following along, you'll know where I am. and then you can put comments down below how I can go about fixing certain things and to keep things moving. Okay. All right. So but don't take it the wrong way when I don't use your suggestion, because as I explained in my previous videos, this is just an ideal. Okay, and that ideal that I have is based on a lot of different factors. Is based on my experience dealing with dealing with project management databases, dealing with databases. I've been working with databases for like over 25 years. I was working with Access before it became part of Windows. I was dealing with HTML while I was in the military, and a lot of different things that I had been exposed to. Some of you weren't even born yet, okay? So, or was too young. You probably weren't even in college yet, okay? Probably was still in elementary school. So, I'm basing these things on a lot of different ideals that I accumulated over extended amount of time. All right, okay. So, don't think that I'm not going to use your information. I may be going around in circles because some of you may have certifications and have been working on this type of process a long time. Some of you know um, extensively VBA. You know how to code and do all this stuff like that. I haven't got to that point yet, okay, because what I'm doing right now, I'm working on just the macros. All right. In the past, I used to struggle with macros because I didn't understand them. I want to master macros. The coding is going to be very easy. Okay, coding will be very easy because once you understand the logic of coding and the different syntax, y- it's pretty simple. All right, like I say, I was a coder in Oracle, and I caught on and I did Unix coding. I did Perl, Java. It once you the logic once you look at it, and you start working with it. It's pretty easy. Okay, but dealing with macros, it deals with a lot more. It's very touchy, okay? Because you do the macros and you got to know when to call code. All right. So it's a mixture of different things that you're gonna be doing. Um, so what I'm doing right now with my project manager database, I am trying to come up with a solution, okay? And it's not a fix all, right? It's not something simple. Because this database will be broken down into like 5 or 6 different parts. All right. So I'm gonna be taking forms, moving the data over and stuff like that. I'm gonna break my database down into different modules, and each module gonna have different information. Okay, so I'm gonna be passing data just like passing data from one database to another, depends on the need and everything like that. Some of you know what I'm talking about because I worked with that. Um, data warehouse environment where data was being transferred back and forth, and then for people who do analysis, they have I forgot what they call it. Well, it's a data warehouse, okay. And what it is that they put they make a snapshot of the whole system, the database system, and then what happens is that the analysts will go out and they will pull data from these tables, and then they do their analytics. Okay, they do their research analysis like that, and then at the end of the day it shuts down, right? But they can save the data on their desktop so they can use it again. Okay, so they has their own repository that they use and they work off of in order to do their reports, and that's where we are. This is where we are right now. Um, I am utilizing the project management database as a tool to create data so we can do those analysis. Okay. So I'm starting from scratch. There's nothing I'm doing, anything like that. I'm coming with all these different scenarios based on years of experience. All right. So again, um, in this whole process, and I'm gonna go through it a little at a time and go back through it again. The initial process of my whole project management database system, okay, is basically this form here. Okay, this initial form when a client calls in, and the client calls in, and then we will evaluate what the client needs. If we are able to help that client, and if we're able to help that client, we will proceed in getting that information to the um, the project manager. Okay, via the consultant. So this right here is the initial stage where we taken in information, we establish the customer, the order number for the client, and then from there we will create a customer number. We'll put in a customer number information, and then the client will have a customer number. Um, right, and from there we will once they have a customer number, we will go into the next step, where is that we'll pass it back to we'll pass information back to the consultant, and the consultant will go and ask the customer a lot of other questions pertaining to what they want, and this could be quick and fast, or it could be, whatever. And then we have these drop down boxes, all right, and each one of these boxes that you have here will trigger an action. Okay, I haven't assigned any macros to these actions yet, but um this is what we're going to do, all right, and later on down the line. Okay, so those of you who are traveling with me, you will find out a whole lot about doing database. You come with your own ideas and create your own robust databases for your customers that you can be working with um, later on down the line. Okay, so um, the next step is we will go to, once the all information is received the by the consultant, and the consultant gather all the information they can gather from the client. Um, they will for that information will actually be forwarded to the um, the project manager, okay, and or to that department, and through that, the project manager will contact the customer and or work with the consultant, and then try to get as much information as possible from that. um, okay, so once the project manager get a hold of this, and then what'll happen is that they gather information, they put in a service request for a customer account number. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into that that t- that form. Let's see. I think it's let's see. Let's see the format. I know. I should know. So, this is form, customer account menu, customer accounts payment, customer project budget, project budget, bill. Let me see this right here. I haven't seen this. I done made so many different forms, I'm talking like to a point where, okay, yeah, that's something else. Okay. Let me look at this form here. In this form, let me see this form. Yeah, this is okay. All right, this project tracking. Okay, and this is a form that we use just to look at where they are. I don't know if I can actually make change. Can I make change? Oh yeah, I can make change. So this is where they basically um, update, and if evaluate the customer. We put a lot of information here based on what they have. Okay. This is where we put in the project, well, the project set number. Okay. And this number here is where this number here is associated with um, the project, right? And how we go about billing. We can actually bill it as a whole, or we can bill it by the project sequence number. And this is the project number itself here. Okay, this is a project set sequence number. And then we have this right here, the project account project number here. Okay, so we can bill it by project, by the sequence, which is this, you know, um, or we can just break it down from that. Okay, so so we have this. We can probably do each. We can this right here can be 2, 3, 4, 5. We can break it down like that, whatever. Okay, but okay, we're not gonna go into that right now. So so what it is that once we'll look at this right here, and which and find out whether or not the customer has information that we need in order to allow that customer to be funded. Okay, so all right, so but I'm gonna close this out because that's getting a little bit. That's not ahead of everything because some of these numbers we might use. All right, how we going because we got to crunch numbers, everything like that. But there. Okay, so this right here is a client, evaluate client customer search screen only. So we just this data right here, all this information right here is just viewable only. It's nothing that we're gonna actually change. Um, then we got customer counting approvals. Um, and I think um, this is what that other form was, accounting. Okay. And I think we already had that open. We had it open already. So look at this form here. And all we're doing is basically trying to figure out, at what point are we going to start factoring in this client information. Okay. So we got this. We'll look at this right here. Okay. So once it goes to the counting section, they are trying to determine whether or not they're going to utilize this client information or not. Right. Okay. So we got the search screen. They'll look at it. They will, um, look at the numbers, everything like that, and then they'll push the factor to approve funded account. Now, based on the information that's in here, okay, once they pull up that form, okay, we'll take all this information into consideration. Okay, whatever they put in here, they don't have anything like that. Credit. Okay, we know they have a available credit amount. They have zero. Okay, of course, in order for this to be even considered, um, once we do the factoring, then the finance officer will put their name in and their ID, and that would trigger the fact that whether or not we're going to start working on it. We'll put the accounts payable log number in there, accounts receivable log, general ledger, accounts payable effective date, receive all these dates in here, and then we will run the on all the open accounts, and it'll come with some type of totals. Okay, once we save it. Now, so once we push the factor to approve funded account, okay, as we know, it will bring up, put the design mode. It will come up with this form here, which we just had, right? Where is it? That it closed out on me. Okay, it will come up with this form here. And in this form here, let's see, make sure we're going to do this right. Okay, we'll make sure we do this right because we want this to be a pop-up. All right. And the record source will be based on this table here, right? So it'll be temp table. But we're gonna see, right? We got to see because of the fact that we may have to run because some of the information gonna come from this table, but we want to have a header, right? So we want to have enough information about the customer up front, right? In this right here, so we know who the customer is, where they're located, all the different pertinent information, the employee ID number, tax ID number, um, you know, what they define, money they starting with, and everything like that. All these gonna be factors. Okay, all these gonna be factors. Okay, which I can put in here right now. Um, it, well, I'm not gonna do it like that because I'd be cheating. Um, because I also want to pull the information in first. Okay, I don't want to be assuming anything, right? I want to know that this table is going to hold the information because this table had to be populated with all the data. Okay, because once we run the queries is going to put the information into this table, right? You understand what I'm talking about? And then from there, we're going to come up with these factoring rules, which we would create. And I think this probably be drop down menus. And then we run a query based on a lot of different things. We probably have a table with numbers in there, and then we'll do this, whatever we do, and come up with some numbers. And then once we come up with some numbers, then we'll throw them out to the customer. Okay, and that would be the rational way of doing it. Okay, doing analysis on that particular customer. All right. So we know that the customer's not going to have none of this information. We want to make sure that the finance officer, our finance officer name is on here because they are the ones going to be signing off on this, which I don't have on here, and I do have a sheet accounts. Let me see. Finance officer, Shephard Family Enterprise finance officer name. It's in this table here. So we're gonna need to corporate account. We need to pull this from this table and pull the finance officer name, the corporate information, right? So I'm going ahead and um, this right here, and I want to be able to put that information into that factoring table, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some design. So most of the information we have already, okay, pertaining to that particular table. But we want, I'm gonna close out this table here. I'm gonna say yes. This form here, I'm gonna close out this form because we don't need it. Um, we have this table, this form here. Okay, that's going to be our Q form. Then we have our factoring, okay, table. So we want, move this over, right? So we want to make sure that whatever's in this table that we're going to be evaluating that customer, and we don't want to have a bunch of information either. Okay, we might have another table that pull other data, okay, but all that's going to be based on a query. All right, so I may pull so much information from this table from a query and to create a table and then another query, and then I will populate these fields that's be non-updatable. Okay, and then we'll take all the information then create something else. All right, but for right now, we don't have any information in this table because, we haven't fetched anything. But the information we fetch is going to go into these tables, but we want to make sure that the information that we have in these tables um, is relevant to what we are factoring, right? So we know that number one, we're going to need a customer. Okay, we know for number one, um, we're gonna need a lot of information, okay, from this customer, right? Okay, and um, I'm looking at all this information here, but we're not going to use it. So I'm thinking the only information we're going to need in this factoring table, um, and I want to say we're going to use all of this information, okay, in this factoring table. I want to know, should we have all this information in here? Because we want to know where the customer's coming from. All these are very important, factors. Okay. You don't want to be, we have to know where the customer is coming from. We have to know whether their address is, and all the stuff like that, in order for us to come with a conclusion. Because, like, if we do something, we can't get our money, then what's the use? Right. So, what we're going to do, um, we're going to, okay, we have this information. Okay, we have the corporation name and suites. This all this information right here, right? So, the customer address, customer number, um, business type, order number. Okay, so all this stuff right here. Okay, so we have a lot of information already. Some of this information I'm about to take out. They got project group name ID. Um, okay, so this factoring. I wonder if I could just run a query. Yeah. Okay, so if I create a query based on this, what's this right here? What is this? This table here. This is corporate account. So this is corporate. And then we have the counting. What's this counting? I think that's corporate too, right? Yeah, it's corporate. So let me close this out. And with this table and the counting table, because I think they should have all the information in there. Okay, and I think I'd run a query based on that. So I'm gonna do this, and um, we don't need this. All we need is accounting. So accounting base. What is this right here? Anything in this table? Okay, so we got this. We got track third quarter, fiscal quarter, tag, department, department close date, manager approval, customer information, operations manager, numbers, account is active, the finance officer, invoice amount. Okay, so I think this would be a good starting point. So if I ran, look at this. Pull it pull all the, based on, so I'm trying to see if this right here has, okay, so if I run a query, I'm gonna create a query based on this table. Where I'm at. So I'm going to close this out. 50. Close this out. Say name. Because I'm not going to name it. Make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So make sure my settings are right. Okay. Let's do this. That's good. Okay. So I want to pull this table into the query, right? And I want to pull the corporate accounting into the query, right? So what I want to do basically, I'm gonna pull this data, okay, because under the corporate it has to have what? Okay, it has to have at least the same customer account number, right? So customer account number here, and let's go see what it pulls back. Okay. Messed up, man. The hell? Okay, so so a couple of things I'm gonna need to run. I want to see, all right, because I'm thinking, just thinking, will I be pulling this information back? Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to run a query based on the corporate table. Pull this back, and I'm going to run the query and see what we get back. Okay, so we got to close this out. We got to close this. Close the corporate table out. Okay, so, okay, do it again. And run this query. All right, so we have some data, but I think some of the data is repetitive. Okay, so see we have two numbers in here, okay, which we shouldn't have. So so what we're going to do is we got to do our joins differently, right? I know that's one of the things. records from corporate accounting and only those. Okay, so we just want these records. Okay, so we run the query again. All right, so sales look like we got some numbers that are the same. So, and that's because we have some duplicates in here that we're not supposed to have. So, let me go back, run it the other way. We might have to look. I might have to look at it. I might have to do something else. Hold on. So do this and run it again. See what happens. Okay, yeah, we have duplicates. So I'm going to look at the query and find out exactly, because it's not supposed to have. Now this can be. Now I'm gonna look down here because we have some numbers in here that is relevant to a customer, but then we have other factors in here that may not be relevant, if that makes sense. So, see, like this right here, this here is not even supposed to be in there. Okay, it's supposed to be either approved or disapproved. All right, so we know these numbers. All this is bogus. All right, it's pulling data from something else that is not really bogus. So we know all this. These 4 records here are in error. Okay, so that's duplicate. So what I'm going to do, go back to the query, right? And I'm going to have to look and find out something else, right? I want to look at these 2 IDs. Let's see, the IDs are different. 22233. Okay. So these IDs are the same, but I also have to redo the query. Those joined. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the IDs together and see if the IDs will bring back single records. Okay, so now there we go. We got 2 records. Okay, right, and that's good. Okay, because the only 2 companies that we actually are monitoring as far as finances, our company, it's the security company and the Shephard Enterprise. See, all right. So them are the 2. Them the only 2 that we're running. Okay, so that's good. All right. So what it is that not only do we need to, okay, then we look at this here. Okay, order number 1, 2, not started. Okay, a project management team, not evaluated. So these 2 is not evaluated. They really don't need to be, but we can put it in there. Approval. I can put approval in there. Then we have this here. Okay, it has to have a work number. So, I will look through this and make sure. And see, then like I said, we got some error. We got some faulty data in here too. See, I can see it already. We got the number here, so I don't know why it has this number here. So I have to find out where that's coming from. Okay, we got that. Personal privacy. Okay, so that's business services. Okay, that's cool. All right. Okay, so that's cool. All right. So, but there's gonna be another table we want to use, all right? Because we have this, we have all this information. But we also gonna need. Let's see, have the company name. Okay, we also have to. We have to figure out at what point are we going to be grabbing that information. Okay, and there's a reason why that's happening, and that is the point. Okay, so this query here is going to be the factoring table, right? We're gonna see where is it now? Factoring, we got factoring here. Oh, I said C. It's supposed to be factoring F. Uh-uh. Or accounting. It's gonna be a. It's gonna be factoring. Okay, so this is gonna be a factoring table. All right. So what's gonna happen is that um, we're gonna have to evaluate um, this table, right? Because whatever's in here, okay, whatever's in this table, we'll have to go into this table, this factoring table. Okay. So and this is and it's based on some numbers that I don't see in here. Okay, so well, there's numbers in here. Right, there's numbers in here. Okay, so but I also want to look at the project tracking design. Look at this. Okay, so we got the project tracking. All right, so I'm also going to use the project tracking. Okay, so let me go here, design, and close this out. And like I said, I'm not going to grab all the information. I'm just going to grab some information from these tables, but I'm gonna need these. I'm gonna need them in order to run the query. Okay, because some of the information I want to be inside of this. Um, I want it to be inside of the table. So put this in here. Okay. So okay, this isn't that. Um, so I might need a team assignment number. Project says sequence. This assign project manager. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to pull a majority of this information, just come back with it. Um, and just delete the stuff I don't need. A lot of stuff I don't need. So, cause some of the stuff I don't need. So I'm gonna say monthly department. Okay, I already had a monthly budget. This and that department got closed. So was that in here? Nope. So I have this. Okay, what if I take all this out? Okay, take all of them, see, delete all this out and bring it up. Because see what I'm doing right now, I need to figure out what I'm going to be pulling in. Okay, so I'm going to use this instead. So this is tracking the project, which, really is irrelevant right now. But we also need to find out whether or not we're going to be using these these come on these groups. So we got this. It's the same thing. Okay, part of the set number. Yes, yes, yes. We got the group number. So this is good. Okay, so that's good. So also, okay, also, um, but see the thing about it, I know I'm not gonna need this. See, do I have this accounting base, which is good. Okay, that's good. But I'm also gonna need the customer table, right? The customer account table, right? Customer account table, right? And we're gonna run it by that ID as well. But the customer account table, we want to make sure. I think we'll run this by the number here. Okay. So in here, okay, we can grab some other information. Okay, which I really don't need to be looking at it right now, but okay, so I'm gonna run the query again. It still had information. And I will have to like really move this stuff around. It's doing this, but design view. So what I would do, I would take all this out and pull everything on the customer accounts table. Hope you can hear me. I know I'm mumbling. And run the query again. So still have that same two tables. All right. Okay, so these are only two tables right here is being factored right now. Okay, well they will be actually be approved, right? But we need to figure out um, how we're gonna go about doing that, right? How we're gonna load this table because there are some there are some like in this table here. Okay, this table here, there are some records in here that we may want to use. Um, so I might have to say, okay, well, um, we're going to use the customer number. So we do, I can run it back on this query, okay, on the design view, and then instead of using um, I can pull it based on I can I know I'm going to use this table, right? Okay, I know that. But I'm going to need the let me see, where did it run? It just ran them too. So I know I'm gonna need the customer number, right? So one of these tables I'm going to take out. All right, so I'm gonna take out this and I'm gonna run the customer number. Okay. Not that I'm not going to use it, but I probably won't need it for as far as pulling the initial records. Okay. Okay. See how I got that? So I have those now. But this is good, right? Because the simple fact that the data that I have isn't the data. You know, I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to factor some information, which I don't have in here yet, right? So okay, so but that this information, I'm gonna have to look in this table, and I'm gonna have to populate whatever's in this table based on. Um, let me see. I'm trying to figure out. Do it have? Okay, so what I'm gonna do. The next thing I'm gonna do is um, this customer. Okay, I got the corporate. Let me see. This is a customer information. Right, customer accounts. So this has number, Quest ID, corporate, proof, all that information in, which is okay, right? But I'm also going to need some project information. So I'll look on here and see if it have any project information, which it doesn't. So project funder status, it might already have that on there, so I don't know. But resource. Okay, so I'm gonna pull. Okay, I don't need none of that. And so I pull this down, run a query again, and see what we got. Okay, it looks good. Okay, I just have to kind of clean it up a little bit. Um, so that's basically it, right? I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna use this query, and based on this query, I will be loading that information into this. Like I got a sign manager. I got to make sure you have all the different fields in there. Um, then I will update. I would append all this information to this table based on whatever this stuff is, right? So all this information that I have here um, have to be in. Well, all this information that's in this account customer table, right? Has to, have the, I will be loading to this table. That's the bottom line. Okay. So, and it will be based on some other factors too, though. See, so I got to make sure that whatever I'm factoring matches up to what I need because I want to make sure I have all the information. Okay. So you got this 2, 9, and 10 here. project build number. Well, I'm not build. I didn't build any project. Well, this is a project list build ID. That's on this one. But I'm trying to determine, but it's not in the any build status. This is the first table, um, but it's not in the any build status right now. Okay, that's what these are for. It's not any build status. Okay, so that's good. All right, so yeah, it's not in the build status. All right, so okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. So I look at this. Okay, so if I look at this, okay, so I'm gonna have to pull some of this department location. Is that in here? Okay, so um, and that's the customer accounts, right? So I'm gonna have to yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure all this right here is customer accounts and accounting, customer accounts, accounting. So um, I'm going to go ahead and utilize these three tables. I think it has all the information I need in these tables to come up with some type of evaluation. Okay, and all I got to do is um, make sure that the information that I'm using is going to be the information I'm going to need, right? So I think that is, I might have to move the joins around a little bit. I think maybe, but I think I got it. I think I really do. I think I got the information I need. I just got to put all the information here, because a lot of information, I just got to put it in there, right? So this is going to be, I'm going to call this um, the accounting um, qualified accounting factors. Okay, and I'll probably name it 1. So I'm gonna see um, accounting factor. Okay, so I'm gonna come out of this, and I'm gonna name. I gotta name this query. Okay, so this is gonna be save. This is gonna be query. Um, this will be pull. Um, evaluate. I'm gonna call it evaluate factors. Customer CUS factors. Okay, customer factors. Account factors. Account factors. Okay. All right. So, and I have to tweak this. So this gonna be 22, 23, right? So, okay. All right. Move this down into my notes. All right. And I'm going to put in here query that will be used to evaluate factored accounts. Okay, and it will be this query here. All right. Okay. All right. So this will be this query here. So okay. So I'm gonna say a factor. Okay. So it's gonna be two different types, right? And they're gonna be two different types of accounts. Will be two types of factored account pools. Factored account. Okay. Account pools. Right. Factored accounts. So it'll be factored accounts. Right. And this is a query. Right. So we got to make sure the queries are separated. Right. Query this. And I have to be able to find the query. Okay. So we got this query. Right. And then we have this query. Let's say query. Right. So I'm going to take this. This is 2. So what's this? Not going to be 2. This might be like 3. 3 or 4. Let's see, right? 3. 3 or 4 is 3. Yeah, I can always make it small. Like I can't make it small. Okay, so this. So make this smaller. Times Roman. Black. Space is going to be 6 and 12. And it's going to be bold. Make it a little small. I don't need to be that much bigger. And I'm going to put here note. Be, please create query re will be loaded into what? What table would be loaded into? It's going to be loaded into this table right here, right? To the table. Okay. Okay. So that's the query. We got the table. Oh, we didn't have the table. Oh, this is a factor sheet table. Table. Okay, so this form. Okay, sheet form. This is list, which lists input information. Say within the. Should I put this in here? This table, right? Table. Small table. That is loaded based on the query pull within the with table. So, all right. That was pretty good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is basically where I am right now with this whole process. So, again, I'm pulling this data from the pool evaluated count factors, right? 22, 23. Make sure that's in my notes because I don't want to forget about that. Okay. And and I have to go back and find out exactly. Now I just randomly pulled this data up, okay, which gave me three records, which is pretty good. But there's a third record, the one that I was actually trying to evaluate to whether or not we was going to do it. But I think there's some other things that supposed to take place in order that to happen, like the manager. There's some sign offs supposed to happen. But I got to go back into that whole process and find out what is it that that record need in order to be loaded, or I can create another query, you know, pending using the zero factor, right? Saying, okay, this record is not qualified, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this record since it has a since it has all these requirements from the customer side, and we need to look at it. And then what I would do is I would load that information, okay, into this table. But it seemed like the table, okay, that record is 10. This is 12. So yeah, so that's what I would do. I will utilize those factors, and I will pull that information in here, um, and load it into this table. Okay, so that be the second thing. All right. So again, I would like to thank you um, for coming out, right? And checking me out. Okay, watch me kind of like work through these issues that I'm having. Hopefully you learned a lot, and stay tuned for our next session. Okay, all right. So again, I encourage you to go out to my website. Okay, Shephard Enterprise website, and to check us out. I advise you to look at my 2020 presentation review for services. Those of you who have the time and want more detail of what's going on, go ahead. You can go ahead and read the information that we have here. All that information is contained inside of the presentation. But if you want a visual read, then you can go ahead and read this information, and so you have something to cross-examine. And also, you can look at my 2018 presentation review, which get more into details of the project itself. Right? Okay. So again, I would like to thank you all for coming out. Whenever you ever get the opportunity, go into my project management database training sessions and system setting, and then go through the different project um, videos to learn more about what we're doing. And I also encourage you to go out to my series of go ahead and go back here. It's the series is topic how to build a business mindset. Okay, a lot of you need that. Okay, a lot of you need to go out there and look at these video series, okay, and establish where you are right now as far as how you're thinking. Some of you don't really know where you're going at this particular time. These videos will allow you to come to some type of understanding the direction you're supposed to be going. Okay. So again, I would like to thank all of you for coming out and listening to me and watching this video. And again, stay tuned for my next video. I would like for you to like my training videos, share them, make a comment, and click the link, the alarm icon, so that you know when I'm making when I'm making other videos or I have uploaded other videos. And also, I would like some those of you who have been dedicated followers. I would like for you to go out and make a donation, okay, to our effort, and go out here and you can go here and click donate, and then donate $1, $5, $10, whatever you can, okay, to help us be able to continue to make sessions like this. I'll be going off into other different processes, project management processes, how you go about um, creating documents like I have here. Okay. You have your project management database um, document where you're tracking what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, okay, based on the days and months and the years, just like I have here. And also uh, the Microsoft Access, creating tables, doing analysis. And that's basically what we're doing. We're doing a lot of analysis, okay, creating tables, doing analysis. And we'll get off into other things as well, okay. The next one is okay, and this right here is my work document. Okay, you're gonna need a work document so that whenever you start working on, your projects, or you start building different things, you want to be able to create a list of information that you can use so that you can track and follow your processes. Okay. And if you have any updates, you come with new different ideas, you can go back and you can add that information so that someone asks you, okay, why is this happening? You can go back to your document and you can look at the query, and then you have all the information there. Okay. And also you want to make sure that some of your queries you want to be able to um, open them up in SQL and copy them and paste them. Okay, that's a whole different session. Um, how to do that, and so that when if you happen to lose anything, you can recreate it and then install it or right back into your application. Okay, again, thank you very much, and hope you have a pleasant